from bogwood for an oval mirror of exceptional clarity. Was the frame so special, or the mirror itself? In all the years afterward, no one was prepared to guess. Nor would any Delaney have dared to separate the dark bogwood from the brilliant perfection of the mirror in order to know for sure. For most, that question hardly mattered, because the undeniable fact was that the mirror was far more than glass and wood. It was a window that offered brief glimpses into the past, present, and future of the Delaney family. But it was a capricious thing. The mirror revealed tragedy as often as triumph, and refused to be mastered even by the willful Delaneys. Only some Delaneys saw anything other than their own reflections, and few indeed saw what they wanted to see even when the mirror opened its window into time. Many of his descendants were divided on whether Seamus knew the true nature of the gypsy's gift. Some said that he accepted the mirror and stumbled on the truth later, while others were certain that the gypsies themselves had explained in language fanciful enough to satisfy even the most romantic the true nature of their gift when it was given. Whatever actually happened during that presentation, time revealed the truth of the mirror, and no doubt there were many Delaneys in the years that followed who believed it was a window best left shuttered, because it wasn't wise for mortal eyes to gaze into the future. Still, not even the Delaneys who might have wanted to dared to destroy the mirror. They might well put it away, but it became as much a part of Delaney heritage as the bogwood clock. However, as things put out of sight sometimes fade out of mind, the mirror was either deliberately or accidentally forgotten by the family at various times through the years, tucked away in an attic or shoved back into a dark corner. It waited patiently to be discovered or rediscovered. Bits of its history were lost for a time or forever. Whole generations of the family lived without knowing anything at all about the mirror. But then a curious explorer would find it again and become intrigued. It would be dusted off and polished and brought forth to be exclaimed over. It possessed its own sense of timing. It always seemed to reappear in the family at critical moments, and oddly, it favored holidays, particularly Christmas, perhaps because of the holly carved so intricately into its frame, or perhaps simply because Christmas was innately a magical time. In any case, the holiday seemed a perfect time to hang so lovely a thing in a room or hallway of Killara. And who could resist a glance into a mirror of such exceptional clarity? Few. Most saw only their own reflection, but some saw more. Iris Johansen, Christmas Past. Prologue. Dublin, Ireland, Cathedral of All Saints, December 24th, 1883. He was coming. Zara was elated, but anxious. The young priest was moving slowly up the aisle toward the pew in which she huddled. She suddenly went rigid with panic. The scent of incense and wax that had seemed so pleasant was overpowering now, and she could scarcely catch her breath. She watched wide-eyed as he stopped at each tall wrought iron candlestick, its flame briefly illuminating his smooth, beardless cheeks, carrot-colored hair, and broad, freckled hands as he reached up to extinguish the candle. In another moment, he would see her. There was nothing to fear, she told herself desperately. She had sensed only kindness, compassion, and discouragement in him during the Mass. Still, she was afraid. The compassion he felt for his flock might not include her. Why should he be different from the others? He would probably mock her and send her back to her people. It was not too late to escape being hurt, and it was not too late to run away. She would not run away. She must not lose her courage after all these hours of waiting. He could not hurt her any more than the others, and perhaps he would be kind. After all, it was the season of goodwill, which was the reason she had chosen to approach him on Christmas Eve. Her gaze went to the splendid ivory and mahogany crucifix on the wall above the altar. He had not been afraid. Her panic began to ease as she waited for Father Timothy to reach her pew. 2 more candles to extinguish, and then he could go to his bed, Father Timothy thought wearily. Had he reached any of those poor souls tonight? He had wanted to comfort and cheer his people in this year of famine and want, to give them something to hold on to in these lean months. But he feared he had failed them. Their faces revealed no inspiration, only reserve and doubt. And who could blame them? He could not offer them a lifetime of experience and dedication to God as their former priest had been able to do. They thought he was too young to understand their— "Father?" He froze, his gaze flying to the far corner of the last pew beside which he had stopped. A child, a girl of perhaps 7 or 8, was staring at him, her blue eyes wide with fear. It appeared his bed was not to be as near as he had hoped, he realized with resignation. "What are you doing here, child? The Mass was over hours ago. Did you fall asleep?" "No. I've waited to see you." Her voice was tremulous. "I need to ask something of you." Children are always full of questions about the Nativity at this time of year. "It's almost midnight, and your parents will be worried about you. Come back tomorrow." "My parents are dead. No one cares where I am." She moistened her lips. "And we won't be here tomorrow. Our caravan leaves at dawn, and we won't be back until spring." Caravan? Gypsies traveled in caravans, and the Killara tribe had come to take communion tonight. The presence of the wild gypsy folk, with their bold, bright clothing, shining boots, and arrogant airs, had made his parishioners bristle with resentment, and his own task of putting his people at ease with him even more difficult. His gaze traveled over the child's ragged brown skirt and bony shoulders. A huge black shawl covered those shoulders and her head, with only a fringe of red hair protruding from it. Her attire was not so different from the other poor folk of the parish, and she appeared more fearful than bold. He asked doubtfully, "You're one of the gypsy children?" She stiffened warily. "Yes." It seemed the Killara were more careless with their children's well-being than he had supposed. "Well, you're still too young to be out on the streets at this time of night." "I'm nearly 9. She motioned impatiently with her hand. "And this is the only time I could see you alone. I've been waiting for hours." Perhaps she was bolder than he had thought. "Well, then it must be very important to you. What is your name, child?" "Zara." "I'm Father Timothy Reardon." "I know." She nervously clutched her shawl more closely about her. "Old Father Benedict died 2 months ago, and you were sent here to take over for him. You've never had a parish before." "You know a great deal." He smiled ruefully. "Have even the gypsies been gossiping about me?" "No." She drew a deep breath and went on in a rush. "I need your help. I cannot read, and I must learn how." "Cannot your own people teach you? I've heard the elders of the Killara are not without learning and give regular lessons to their children." "Not me." She looked away from him, her knuckles turning white as she grasped her shawl even tighter. "They will not teach me." "Why not?" "Because I'm different." "Different?" "What does it matter? They will not do it." She went on hurriedly, desperately. "I learn very fast, and I wouldn't trouble you for long. We come to Dublin twice a year. If you teach me, I'll come here and work to pay you for the lessons. I can scrub floors and run errands and—" "Wait." He held up his hand to stop the frantic flow. "Just tell me why it's so important to you." She didn't speak for a moment. "Magic," she whispered. "Magic?" "Around campfires, some storytellers give us tales from the books of the elders. Wondrous tales." Her eyes were shining, her thin face suddenly alight with eagerness. "When I listen, it's as if I go away to another land." Pity surged through him as he looked at her. His every instinct told him this child had need of such escape. "And you wish to read these books yourself?" "They would not permit it. They would punish me if they even knew I left the wagon to listen to the storytellers. It's forbidden for me." "Forbidden?" She ignored the question and went on eagerly. "But if I could read, I'd find a way to get books of my own, and then I wouldn't need to break them, Alan." "And this magic is the only reason you wish